And now you're named as a successor trustee. Well, who wouldn't be honored to be named to such an illustrious position? Right? What an honor. Let me tell you what, it's a lot of work. The family members, if you're a family member named as an executor, way too often in our experience is when the battles start. Somebody has a long past memory that something was promised to them, and they want you to give it to them even though it's not in the will or the trust. Somebody starts putting pressure on you. The family gatherings aren't the same. All of a sudden, you're the trustee pushed over there and the rest of the family is talking about you. That happens, so we see it, but not in my family, right? It gets to the point where then the named person resigns because they can't take it anymore. And then often the person who wants to violate the terms is the one in control. And if they do violate it, are you willing to sue your siblings? We think there's a better way. Oh, in addition, it comes with, there's a time commitment. Most of what you have to do is during the business hours. If you're working, you got to take off of work. And you have liabilities for bad decisions. They can sue you for mistakes. And you have legal expenses. If they sue you, you may have to have a lawyer to protect you, and they get the estate to pay their bills. It's a mess. We suggest the idea of a professional, either an attorney or a trust company, to help with that. Almost every will and trust I said, if it's a family member trustee, the trustee will not be paid, but they can hire services. So people are doing this without compensation, and it's an enormous expense between missed work and traveling around. If you get a corporate trustee, they're not emotionally involved. They'll make decisions. They don't fear unknown liabilities. They know exactly how it works. Unfortunately, most bank and trust companies only want large accounts. Many of them, if you're under $5 million in the account, you only get to use the internet to transact. Between 5 and 10 million, you get the Trustee of the Month Club. We're aware of smaller trust companies that take people, they base it not on the size of the trust, but a very small minimum fee. We work with trusts very often, and you can have a trust that you even have trust-deed IRAs where you can have the IRA for a minor without involving a lawyer. So best of intentions is not good enough. If you're in that position of responsibility, you could make errors that are irrevocable. You could be held liable. You have to know the questions to ask. If you know the questions to ask, you have to know if they're accurate. If they're accurate, you have to know if they're based on law or opinion or company policy. If you know what your options are, do you know if it's based in if they tell you an option, you know if it's based on the dictionary definition or the company's definition or the IRS's definitions? If you know it's from the IRS, do you know their language enough to actually do the right thing for the family? Well, it's really hard to ask the right questions if you don't know all of the right words. And if you're in that position of responsibility, hire a fiduciary, because you can make way too many mistakes otherwise.